And Mark Gardner is finished.
Well, if you're the Giants, you cannot afford to fall any farther behind, and he wants a left-hander here to try to get Mark Grace out.
Two lefties coming up, Grace and Rodriguez. Runners at first and third, one out. The Cubs already leading 2-0. Now Rich Rodriguez, the veteran left-hander, has come on to face Mark Grace.
And he has not had a lot of success against Mark Grace. Grace is 5 for 9 against Rodriguez with 1 home run.
Lance Johnson at third base. Sammy Sosa at first. Snow on the bag with it. Now side, ball 1. Grace, there you see his numbers, as Joe mentioned, against Rodriguez. Grace in this game is single to right and fouled out to third. Big spot in the game, the chance for the Cubs with their cleanup hitter up there to extend their lead. Sosa back at first. Sammy led the club this year with 18 steals. They don't run a whole lot. Only 64 steals for the whole team all year. They have hit more home runs, though, than any Cubs team in history. Kind
of interesting the way Mark Grace kind of decoys a lot of pitchers away. He kind of walks across the plate, which tells them that maybe you can come inside on him, but he protects inside first. You see him kind of walk across the plate on those first 2 pitches. If you're the catcher or the pitcher, you say, well, I should bust him inside, but he actually wants that.
3-0.
I'm not so sure that he won't be swinging on this particular pitch. I mean, Mark Grace and Sammy Sosa are your big guys, especially RBI men and your best hitters. 3-0, you can let him take a hack. He's disciplined enough to know that he has to get a good pitch that he can drive. And that was one that he could drive, but he chose not to swing at it.
3-1. Grace looking over Tom Gamboa, the third base coach. Relaying the sign for that man, manager Jim Riggleman. The middle infield double play depth. Sosa's running. Ball 4.
Good smart play, I think, by the Cubs there to go ahead and run Sammy Sosa, because Mark Grace will put the ball in play if it's a strike, and you open up a hole for him on the left side, especially because he's not going to pull a lot of left-handed pitchers. But if he does pull it, you still have the hole open at first base. So I think that was a perfect hit-and-run situation there for Riggleman.
Now, instead of Henry Rodriguez, there is Matt Miesky to come out and act as a pinch hitter. Dusty Baker has a right-hander up in his bullpen, but also remember that Jim Riggleman's got 2 outstanding left-handed hitters still on his bench, Orlando Merced and Brant Brown. So Henry Rodriguez hacking his gear.
Well, John, Glenn Allen Hill hit a pinch hit grand slam home run against the Giants earlier this year.
Right here at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, in this situation, a pinch hit, and Glenn Allen Hill hit a home run, a grand slam. But they choose to use Matt Miesky. I think he doesn't want to fire all his big lumber this early in the ball game.
Johnson at third, Sosa at second, and Grace at first. 1 out. The Cubs ahead 2-0. The Giants infield pulled in at the corners, double play depth up the middle. Strike on the outside.
I think if there's a ground ball at third, if it's near the back, Charlie Hayes will tag third and throw the first. But otherwise, he's in a position where he has to go around the horn as well. He's not in a position like to come to the plate. He's playing back pretty deep.
So only Snow really is pulled in.
Exactly.
Base hit. Johnson is in to score. And Sosa scores. Grace to third. 4-0 Cubs. John Johnstone is being summoned in from the bullpen. Matt Mieske, former Milwaukee Brewer, gets the huge hit. 4-0 Cubs. He'll be back. John Johnstone, the third Giants pitcher of the game, right-handed. He's had an excellent season for them. But yesterday in Denver, he hung a slider to Todd Helton, who hit it for a 3-run homer. Part of the Rockies' comeback.
Well, if you're wondering maybe why Dusty didn't bring him in to pitch to Mieske, well, as you said, he has Merced and Brant Brown on the bench, and those two guys have been more successful pinch hitting this year than Mieske had. Mieske had really not done that well as a pinch hitter this year.
2 on, 1 out. Gary Gaetti is at the plate. He started all of this in the 5th inning when he hit a 2-run homer against Gardner. That was the first scoring of the game. Now 2 more runs are home, and they want more. Missing inside. Mark Grace is at third base, and Matt Mieske is over at first after a 2-run single. Mieske, as a pinch hitter, had been 4 for 25.
Yeah, that's not very good, and the other guys are hitting well over 300. Well, Brant Brown 6 for 21, and Orlando Merced is a guy that will always put the ball in play, and he's hitting 375 as a pinch hitter. So I guess you take the lesser of 2 evils, and that's one of the reasons he left Rodriguez in to pitch to Mieske.
But Mieske crossed him up. A huge hit from Matt Mieske. Slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gaetti chased him. Giants bullpen busy again. Rookie right-hander Russ Ortiz, who's been in the rotation the last couple of months, warming up. Well, Joe, when we were in Seattle 3 years ago in the big playoff between the Angels and the Mariners, little heralded Luis Sojo got the big hit. Should be 2, or really the second one. Came back to first. 2. Double play. So the Cubs add 2, but they don't put them away. We go to the 7th inning. Charlie Hayes coming up. 4-0 Cubs.
I'd kind of given up hope. I wasn't going to spend $12,000 on hair plugs. But I tried this, and it was great, and I've never looked back.
I brush my teeth in the morning. I had braces when I was a child. We take care of other parts of our body. You can take care of your hairline. It's okay.
I mean, I'm just grateful that the products work so well, that they're so convenient, and that I don't have to stress out about losing my hair anymore.
Don't wait until you lose more hair. Go to forhims.com right now.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
All the parts that you need to keep her on the road. For work, for school, everywhere you go. But sometimes they can be hard to find. Rock Auto's got the parts for whatever you drive. Upkeep on that work truck, you just save some big bucks. All the parts you're looking for delivered to your front door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Barry Bonds has been shut down by Traxel, 0 for 3.
I would say even worse than that, John. He's been frustrated by Traxel.
Charlie Hayes fouling it back. He is flying to shallow right and walked. Brian Johnson due up next, but Brent Main, a left-handed hitter, has come out on deck. Brent Main on deck. One ball, one strike to Charlie Hayes. Jeff Kent 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. Although he hit the ball hard in the 6th inning. Bonds has not been able to make hard contact. 0 for 3.
Yes.
Those are the two big guys. 248 RBIs for the two of them. And they've been shut down by Steve Traxel.
And if you're the Giants, you look ahead, you're 4 runs down and you only have the prospect probably of them hitting one more time in this ball game. That's the tough part. So you're going to have to do it.
Right to Morandini.
Well, the Giants have not had a base hit, but they've hit some balls hard.
So in the 6th inning, Kent led off with a line drive right to Morandini. Giants have not had a leadoff man get on base in any inning of this game. All 7 of the men who have led off the innings for the Giants tonight have been retired by Steve Traxel. Now Brent Main, the pinch hitter for Johnson. Main 267 for the year, 3 homers, 32 batted in. That's a base hit. And that is the first one. So Traxel a no-hitter for 6 in the 3rd innings.
Being honest with you, John, I don't think he really cared. After he got the lead, he was going to make them swing the bat.
But it wasn't like Roy Halladay's day yesterday in Toronto.
No, that was.
I mean, he had no hits, no walks.
I felt for him. I was watching him. Well, he started each hitter off this inning with a fastball. And Maine gets a fastball, and he lines it to right field for a base hit. And I guess he's not pitching good enough. Phil Regan goes out. He gives up this first base hit. He's retired. He had retired like 6 Giants in a row.
Giants are going to bring a pinch hitter up here as Regan and Houston out chatting at the mound with Steve Traxel. Armando Rios from Santurce, Puerto Rico originally. Then he went to Louisiana State University. Made his way through the Giants farm system. Got his first look in the big leagues this year. In his 2nd pinch hit at bat, he hit a pinch hit homer in LA. The next day, he came up as a pinch hitter again and again homer. He has played for the last 4 years for Cubs third base coach Tom Gamboa in the winter leagues down there in Puerto Rico. And Gamboa really likes him. He likens him to a Lenny Dykstra kind of a spark plug player. Good hitter, runs well, excellent center fielder. Rios has only had 7 official at bats as a big leaguer and has 2 home runs and 2 singles. Main at first, 1 out. In the dirt, blocked. Ball 1. And the Cubs for the first time in the game have bullpen activity. Matt Karchner, a right-hander, is warming up for the Cubs. The Cubs lead 4-0. We're in the 7th inning. Leadoff man Stan Javier is on deck. Grace is playing behind Main at first base now, not on the bag with him.
Yes.
Nice pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Rios out of LSU, Traxel out of Long Beach State. Both have had College World Series experience.
I like all that, but it's not like major league experience and playing in a playoff game.
This is a little different.
A little different.
The big stage. The show.
Yeah.
Strike 2. He chased it. The 116th pitch, by the way, thrown by Traxel on this one.
Well, this fastball runs away. One of the things I think that has made Traxel successful tonight, John, is he's been just erratic enough. By that I mean the hitters can't get any rhythm on him. He is not in any type of groove where he's, you know, throwing a fastball in, change up away. He doesn't have a pattern. He's just been erratic enough to keep the Giants hitters off balance and had them swinging a lot of pitches out of the zone.
But he tried the same one there. I mean, Joe, what is that? Is that the split-fingered pitch? I mean, it came at 81 miles an hour.
No, it looked like he just turned over the fastball. He runs it away from the left-handed hitter.
Because it's considerably slower, right, than his regular
But he
fastball.
wasn't trying to throw. It's not like a sinker, but he just turns it over. The ball moves away.
2-2 the count. Armando Rios, only his 8th major league at bat. Foul ground, Gaetti, and in amongst the spectators. The wind may have helped get it there. 2-2. Gaetti and the shortstop Hernandez gave chase. Wrigley Field, there has not been postseason play here for 9 years. 1989, the last time when the Cubs and Giants met in the National League Championship Series. Cubs figure that's a long enough drought. They, of course, also went into the League Championship Series 1984. They have not been to the World Series since 1945 and have not won the World Series since 1908. They lead this game 4-0 in the 7th. 1 on, 1 out. 2-2 the count. And Rios going out after it, fouling it back out of play. This is the pretty big situation for a rookie who's just a September call-up.
Yes, it is, but you know, the one thing I've been impressed with a lot of young players, I mean in the big leagues especially, is that they have no fear, John. I mean, they feel like, hey, I can do it and I belong here. So they don't think like we did when I first came up. They're not nervous and afraid.
2-2 the count. Main at first. And he threw him the split-fingered pitch, and Rios, the raw rookie, took it. A lot of the veterans have had a hard time taking that one on 2 strikes tonight.
Interesting situation here. Mark Grace is playing behind the runner at first base. The question is, do you send him, you know, because he can get a big lead, or do you go ahead and play it straight up?
Well, what would you do?
I'm aggressive, John. You know that. But the other risk is you're 4 runs down. If he hits a line drive at, you know, at someone, you're out of the inning.
Three balls, 2 strikes, and many in the crowd rise to their feet now. Maine is not running. Just missing it. That was awfully close. Wow.
Well, Traxel very upset with the call. I mean, a little more demonstrative than he should have been there.
Well, and Bruce Fleming will not take kindly to that.
No, I don't think Bruce saw him. Well, watch his reaction.
Well, the catcher did bring the ball up a little bit, but I think that pitch has been called a strike a few times.
I mean, look at Traxel's reaction.
There's Matt Karchner, who came over from across town. He'd been with the White Sox and was acquired on July 29th for a minor league pitcher. He inherits 2 base runners with 1 out. There, you're looking at his statistics combined between the White Sox and the Cubs. He had a 5.15 ERA while with the White Sox. 2 on, 1 out. Javier, the hitter. Strike, and it's 0-1. Orlando Merced came out to play left field. Minsky goes down. There's Maine at second, and Rios at first. 1 out. He put Merced out there rather than Brant Brown.
Yes.
A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Javier has flied out and twice walked. Steve Traxel, 121 pitches, only 1 hit allowed in 6 1/3 innings.
And he did the job. I mean, he kept his team in the ball game, gave them an opportunity to go ahead.
I mean, he leaves with a shutout going. 2-1. In the Cubs bullpen now, there is further activity. The left-hander is Felix Heredia, but the right-hander is the Cubs' leading winner, their #1 starter, Kevin Tapani. And we had mentioned that he would be in the bullpen if needed as a setup man. 2-1 to Javier. Aurelia on deck.
Yes.
Popped up down the left field line. A long run for Merced. He makes the catch.
Nice play there by Merced. The wind was pushing that ball away from him toward the crowd, and he got over there quickly enough that he was able to see. He gets there quickly. That's the key. He looks, he finds the wall, and then he actually has to reach back to make the catch. I think Javier thought the wind was going to push that ball into the seats.
Well, so did Merced. I mean, Orlando, he starts to leap into the seats after it and has to reach back for it. Now Sean Dunston, the former Cub, who, like Mark Grace, is another who was here back in 1989. And the Giants and Cubs met in the League Championship Series, but he was wearing the Cubs uniform at that time. And Dunston primarily has been used as a pinch hitter by Dusty Baker since picking him up from Cleveland. And he has hit 3 home runs for the Giants in 58 bats, but only a 160 average. Dunston has hit 1 pinch hit home run. Sean Dunston batting with 2 on and 2 out. And at this point, they don't need the home run. They'd like him just to get on base somehow, with Barry Bonds on deck. Brent Maine, who singled at second base. Armando Rios, who walked at first base. The Giants trailing the Cubs 4-0 in the 7th inning. And the game right now for the Giants is to try to keep the inning going for Bonds. And then they can give it their best shot. Right after with a fastball, and Dunston fouled it back. A couple of times now the Giants have gotten their pitches and have not hit them.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, they've had some pitches to hit in this ball game. They just have not been able to do it. And when they foul those pitches off, Traxel always came back and made good pitches to retire them.
Sean Dunston has faced Karchner 1 time and hit a double against him. Man, he got another one. Karchner's not exactly hitting his spots right now. Gotten away with a couple of pitches there. 2 strikes and 2 down, and again the Wrigley Field faithful on their feet. Barry Bonds would be next. Tired of waiting, Dunston backs away.
Take one for the Cubs, Sean. Come on!
1 and 2. It's more like the pitch that maybe Gardner intended to throw when he had a 2-strike count on Gary Gaetti in the 5th inning.
Well, you're right. Gardner had made all the pitches till he got to that 0-2 count, and then he made a mistake.
Gaetti hit a 2-run homer to put the Cubs ahead. Now they lead 4-0. Giants have had a lot of base runners tonight. 2 on right now. They've left the bases loaded 1 time. They've had 8 men on base, but they have only had 1 hit. There's the rub. They've not been able to knock anybody in. Houston again out to talk to Karchner. I mean, Houston has had to battle with his own pitchers tonight. The outfield is bunched up towards center against Sean Dunston. He was the Cubs' everyday shortstop for a long time right here at Wrigley Field. Two and two. Well, he's thrown him two in the dirt here since getting ahead of him. The Giants need a bolt of lightning here. Down by 4. And especially they need something, anything, to get Bonds up with men on base. Finally, Karchner ready. Up the middle. Morandini has no play, and the bases are loaded for Barry Bonds. An infield hit for Dunston.
Nice job there by Morandini to keep the ball on the infield and not allow a run to score. And immediately Jim Riggleman comes out.
There is the 22-year-old left-hander Felix Heredia, albeit a left-hander with a lot of experience. 3 years with the Florida Marlins, and was acquired at the end of July from Florida in a deal that sent Kevin Ory, among others, to Florida. The Cubs' former third baseman. He pitched in 4 games in the World Series last year against Cleveland and never gave up a run. Only 2 hits in 5 1/3 innings pitched. And he has never given up a hit to this man, Barry Bonds, whom he will face with 3 men on, 2 men out. The Giants, if they're going to make a move, you would think now's the time. The runners, Maine at third, Rios at second, and Dunston at first.
Well, it's not imperative that Barry try to go for a home run. He just needs to get a base hit, maybe find a gap. Very rarely can you go up there to hit a home run and hit one.
Ball 1.
I think it's imperative for Bonds to make sure that he gets a good pitch to hit. If you pop it up, okay, but make sure you get a pitch to hit.
Of course, even if he hits a single or whatever, Jeff Kent, the RBI leader for the club, is on deck. Strike call, and Bonds didn't like it.
Well, Bonds has been frustrated a lot this evening with some of the calls by Bruce Fleming. He thinks they're borderline, and the pitcher's been getting those calls. But Barry also helped Traxel out his last time up, chasing 2 fastballs up and out of the strike zone.
He has struck out, grounded to third, and fouled to third. Has not gotten the ball out of the infield tonight. Right to Grace. And the Giants leave 3 on again. Bonds is 0 for 4. And the Giants have left 9 men on. 4-0 Cubs. Last of the 7th coming up. And Bill Murray is here to lead the fans and take me out to the ball game. And we'll hang on to it right here.
All right. This one's for Harry. And this one's for Jack. And this one's for Gabby Hartnett, too. Let's let them hear it all the way in Woodstock. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and crackers and a beer. I don't care if I ever get back. So it's true. For the coming. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it.
Unexpectedly, she had to do open heart surgery. It was definitely a tense time. It was good to just come here and feel a little normal and to get a nice hot meal and like a nice warm bed.
Helps you bring strength to your family.
No matter what's ahead, I know that Ronald McDonald House will be there for us. They're like family, so they'll take care of us.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Pain can wear you down, but you're resilient. And Icy Hot No Mess fuels your resilience. Fast-acting, targeted pain relief. Because the deeper you dig, the higher you rise. Icy Hot No Mess.
Well, this is overwhelming. Where to start? Listen to celebrity decorators with their $1 million budgets and enormous staff? That's realistic. Or just step into a store. Oh, no. There's a better way. You've skimmed catalogs. You've browsed through blogs. You know what you like when you see it. Artful contemporary, Scandinavian minimalism, organic modern. You know what you want. Overstock's where you find it. Now let's get to work. A sofa, a floor lamp, an area rug. Never forget the area rug. Everything you need with free shipping every day. Easy, right? Getting it done with Overstock, where quality costs less.
Here's Russ Ortiz on the pitch for the Giants, and Tyler Houston is the hitter. The Giants have some changes otherwise. Sean Dunston stays in the ball game to play shortstop, and Brent Maine stays in to do the catching. Ortiz trying to throw the changeup, missing badly with it. 2-0. Brent Maine, who also came out as a pinch hitter, staying in. Ortiz is the fourth Giants pitcher of the game. 3-0. And of course, you talk about that big stage. Big game, the biggest game that young Russ Ortiz has ever pitched in. Done a great job for the Giants as a starting pitcher. Won some big games for them down the stretch. And that low strike, 3-1 to Houston, who is 0 for 2. To second base. One away. Mark Gardner, the starter, and in the foreground, John Johnstone, the reliever who came in and got Diana. He hit an inning-ending double play in the 6th. And Gardner charged with all 4 runs. On his right is Rich Rodriguez. Came in immediately after him. Those are the first 3 Giants pitchers who have worked in this game, all sitting in the dugout rather than heading back to the clubhouse. Here is Jose Hernandez. He has walked and struck out. Did he swing? Yes, he did. Curveball in the dirt from Ortiz. 4-0. Chicago leading. Game number 163. Off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Giants bullpen is busy. Left-hander Alvin Morgan, number 52. The right-hander Julian Tavares. Be ready if needed here. Orlando Merced is on deck for the Cubs. Hernandez has walked and struck out. Curveball is 2-1. On the right, Gary Gaetti, a 2-run homer in the 5th, and he's talking with his fellow RBI man of the night, Matt Mieske, a 2-run pinch hit single in the 6th. The only runs of the game. That's a base hit. Hit number 8 for the Cubs. Hernandez gets his first.
Well, it's a fastball up. Hit wide at third. Charlie Hayes can't get there, and neither can Sean Dunston.
Now Orlando Merced. This is the 3rd playoff for the Giants. The other 2 they won, 1951 and 1962, both against the Dodgers. And each time they won in the final game of the playoff, tiebreaker playoff. Trailing in the 9th inning. 1951. They were down 4-1 in the 9th. And then Bobby Thompson, of course, hit the famous shot heard around the world, the 3-run homer to win it. 1962, they were at Dodger Stadium, trailing 4-2 in the 9th, and scored 4 runs on only 2 hits to end up beating the Dodgers 6-4. So the Giants have, in their franchise history, been in this situation before. But I don't see anybody out there who played in either one of those series.
Good fastball from Ortiz, right up under the hands. That's the toughest pitch I think in the world to hit. Fastball, good fastball under the hands.
Oh, and 2 the count to Orlando Merced. Long time with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Went to Toronto for a while. Been traveling here lately. 0-2 the count. This pitch does not count. Time was granted.
I'm a little surprised at that because Ortiz was almost starting his motion to the plate when Merced backed out of the box. And while he was requesting that timeout, he backed out before actually he received it from Bruce Fleming.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Merced. Popped up foul. That'll go back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Out on Waveland Avenue, the crowd is getting bigger, and some people are hoping for a celebration. Cubs can hang on to this lead. They need only 6 outs more. They lead by 4, and then the celebration will start big time on the streets of Chicago. In here, the Cubs lead 4-0. Last of the 7th. 1 on. Orlando Merced, the hitter. Lance Johnson on deck. The Cubs bullpen, by the way, is also busy. Kevin Tapani has stayed up, so we may see Tapani here in the 8th inning. Just got a piece of it. Foul tip. At least 1-game playoffs, Joe. I mean, there's so much tension. You have to have a 7th game of a World Series or a League Championship Series or the 5th game of a division series to even come close to the tension.
I think the other things right there, I don't think the 7th game of the World Series, there's nothing to match that, but I think the finality of a 5-game series or a 3-game series.
But I mean, even in the World Series, I mean, you made the World Series.
Yeah.
These guys, if they lose, they don't make anything. They go home. And how many of the teams that have lost the various playoffs over the years, how many are not even remembered at all?
Well, that's true. But the 7th game of the World Series is a little different. I played in 7th game of the World Series. I played in a couple playoffs before too. But
well, I have to take your word for it.
The 7th game of the World Series, John. That's the ultimate.
But for a lot
but
of
I
these
agree
guys,
with you. When you get to the final game of any series,
but
I mean, it's
to play
difficult.
162 games and get this close and then nothing.
Right.
Runner goes. The ball is just foul. Rob Nen, the Giants closer, protecting the bullpen catchers out there, had to react quickly. That was really hit hard.
Well, it was hit very hard, just outside the bag. The runner's going, and he just rips it just foul. Remember, it doesn't have to hit fair. Just go over the corner of the bag, even if it's down the line there. It just has to go over the corner of the bag.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Hernandez the runner at first. Hernandez is back. 39,556. The official paid attendance. That does not include all the folks out on the rooftops and the buildings out across Sheffield and Waveland Avenues, or the folks on the avenues out there. There goes the runner. That is ripped foul down the right field line. So,
well, they first tried to get in under the hands of Merced. he did it a couple of times, and they continue to pitch inside. Now Merced is turning on everything.
I mean, if you lose a playoff like this, it's either they forget you, or even worse, they remember you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Branca, he gave up the home run to Thompson. People have not forgotten that. There goes the runner again. And no throw by Maine.
Well, it seemed like when he tried to take the ball out of his glove, he didn't have a good grip on it.
I mean, that very first playoff ever, 1946, the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Snow is in it. 1995, his Angels lost. 48, the Red Sox in Cleveland, in the first American League playoff. Cleveland won it. Curveball, tough play for Snow. Nice pickup. Ortiz covering. And we saw there why J.T. Snow won the Gold Glove in the National League last year. Over to third base. And Hernandez.
You've got to be a good fielder to be able to back up on a ball and have good enough hands to grab it like this. See, right here, he starts in, now he backs up. Now the ball jumps at you. You've got to have great hands to be able to make a play like that. And JT, of course, does have great hands, and that's why he's won Gold Gloves in both leagues. Nice play.
And as Ortiz makes the put out there, that's his final play of the game. Dusty Baker going to the bullpen for Alvin Moorman, a left-hander, to face the lefties, Johnson and Morandini. Moorman was acquired along with Jose Mesa from the Cleveland Indians before the trading deadline. In a deal that sent Steve Reed over to Cleveland. And there are his numbers for the year. He has not pitched much for the Giants. He had a pulled hamstring, put him on the disabled list for a long while. And he curves him for strike one. Johnson singled in the sixth, starting the two-run rally that made it a 4-0 game. He bats now with 2 down, and Hernandez over at third base. Kevin Tapani still heating up in the Cubs bullpen. Shallow right, Carter, a late break. Still coming.
Nice play.
The inning is over. The Giants are running out of outs, and Kevin Tapani is coming into pitch. Kent Carter and Snow duo.
Let Marquee Sports Network deliver fresh baseball news and analysis to you with Cubs 360 Daily. Though baseball may be on pause, we're pulling together the most knowledgeable voices coming to you daily from their home to yours.
I think all baseball fans, all of us, appreciate the fact that they're working very hard to try to make this happen.
Cubs 360 Daily, fresh each weeknight at 6 on Marquee Sports Network. Proudly presented by Miller Lite.
I am Robert Strickler. I've been involved in communications in the media for 45 years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Take a ride and roll back to the 1990s. Marquee Sports Network will feature all games from the 90s. Saturday, Sammy Sosa belts his first career 3-home run game.
And he hits a high fly ball deep to left again, and it's gone! Look at Sammy! And is this crowd ever electrified?
Cubs Classics 90s Week, Saturday at 7 on Marquee Sports Network. Proudly presented by Prevagen.
So now Kevin Tapani. 19 wins for the year as a starter, is on in relief.
Well, this is a unique situation, John. I mean, Tapani is used to, you know, being a starter. I mean, look, you can warm up and be ready to pitch, but mentally, are you ready to pitch these, to get these 6 outs? Because that's basically what they have left, and they use Rod Beck a lot in the last 3 days, so I don't know if he's going to be available to come in and pitch for the 9th inning as he normally does.
Tapani worked on Friday as a starter in Houston. Jeff Kent, the hitter. First ball swinging. Hernandez. High throw, but Grace brought it back in, 1 away.
Well, that's the one thing that you have if you're Kevin Tapani, is you have that good sinker, and you say, well, if I can just keep the ball in the ballpark, keep it on the ground, maybe I can, you know, get a little help from my friends, my infielders.
Well, Tapani is making his 279th Major League appearance, and it's only the 7th time that he has worked in relief. And another one of the Cubs' regular starters is now warming up in the bullpen behind him. Joe Carter, the hitter, and that's ball 1. Well, Tapani, with a win tonight, would have been set up nicely to go on Wednesday in Atlanta. I suppose he still could.
I was going to say he probably still could pitch if they need him.
What's wrong with that?
There's Mark Clark, who made 33 starts this year. Tapani 34. Jim Riggleman, at this point, does not have a whole lot of confidence in his bullpen, as we saw yesterday in Houston, except for that man, Rod Beck, and he'd prefer, I'm sure, not to use Beck today.
Yeah. But Beck is a warrior. If they want him to take the ball, he'll take the ball and go out there, I guarantee you.
2-1 to Carter.
Yes.
And fouled out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bonds 0 for 4. Kent 0 for 3. Carter 0 for 2 with a walk. Snow 0 for 2 with a walk. Hayes 0 for 2 with a walk. The numbers 3 through 7 hitters. And they've just been shut down by the Cubs tonight. Off the hands. Hernandez charges. Out number 2.
Well, good job by Hernandez. He takes a peek at Joe Carter to see how far he's down the line. Now he gloves it with his glove hand. Then he knows he has time to make the transfer. He didn't have to really hurry. He stole a peek at Joe Carter as he was going down the line.
2 down, nobody on, and JT Snow 0 for 2 with a walk. High and deep into right center. Sosa quickly back, all the way back to the wall. Can't get it. It's off the ivy. Snow's going to try for third. The ball juggled by Johnson, and Snow easily makes it to third.
Well, because that ball was hit so high, it stayed in the ballpark. Because he definitely hit it well enough to get it out of here, but the wind, the higher you hit it, the more the wind's going to have an effect on it, and just knocked it down. Sosa almost caught it.
Wind, a strong wind has been blowing in from right all night. If anything, right now it might be more of a crosswind, a cross in from right and toward left.
And it did push it a little bit towards right center field and away from Sosa.
Yeah, you saw Sosa back at the wall and then starting to move right along the wall for a while. So a triple for Snow. That's his first triple of the year. And Charlie Hayes is up, so we get a look at it.
There you see Sammy Sosa running along the wall. He thought he had it gauged, and the wind kept pushing it toward left field. And he ran over and finally made a stab at it.
Charlie Hayes is flying to shallow right, walked, and lined out to second. 4-0 Cubs. The Giants have only 4 outs of life left to them.
Here we go.
There's that sinker. 0-1.
That was actually looked like a pretty good pitch for Charlie Hayes to hit. Fastball, but it was a sinker, but it wasn't down. And the wind is starting to shift a little bit more towards left field.
Plenty of time. And the Cubs are 3 outs away from wrapping up the National League wild card. And Sammy Sosa is coming up second in the last of the 8th. Stay with us.
When you're home, there's nothing like enjoying a classic with a classic. Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories.
Let's raise a cup to those who donate their time, who go from making coffee to making masks, and turn their store into so much more. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
This isn't forever. It's a moment in time. We may be isolated, but we're still connected. We navigate individually, but experience this together. We're Chicago. We know how to hunker down and push through. We'll come out stronger, more resilient. Look forward to the day we'll share these spaces once again. From us at Wintrust to all of you, hang in there. We'll see you on the other side.
Doing the things we love can be painful. Aspercream's triple effect provides targeted relief, works in minutes, lasts for hours. Love hurts. Aspercream works.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Waiting till next year if you're a Cubs fan, and they're convinced next year is now. At least a trip to the postseason in the 163rd game of the regular year. There's Gary Gaetti, his 2-run homer in the 5th inning. It's made him a Cubs legend in the making. Only his 37th game as a Cub. Alvin Mormon taking his final warm-ups. The Giants trail the Cubs 4-0. It'll be Mickey Morandini and then Sammy Sosa, so Mormon is likely only in to face the one-hitter. Morandini 1 for 3 in the game. He was in the 1993 World Series with the Philadelphia Phillies, and that being the case, he had to watch Joe Carter circle the bases with a game-winning and World Series-ending home run in Game 6 that year. Slider in the dirt for ball 1.
That was a year where the Phillies were probably the 3rd best team in the National League, but at the time you need to play the best, they played the best, and they beat Atlanta in the League Championship Series to go on to the World Series.
Braves won 104 that year. The Giants won 103, and they got sent home. And then the Braves, after being taken right to the wall by the Giants in an incredible pennant race, didn't have anything left as they succumbed to the Phillies. Orel Hershiser, he was 11-10 for the Giants his first year in San Francisco. Made more starts for the Giants this year than in any other season since his Cy Young year 10 years ago. 34 starts. He may not be back with the Giants. They have an option on his services, but that is a question as to whether or not he'll come back or they'll invite him back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Morandini. Sammy Sosa on deck. Perhaps his final shot at hitting number 67. Out of play. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
John, I read an article the other day, and it was a great quote about Sammy Sosa. He said, a lot of players make $10 million and try to figure out how to spend it. He said, then there are guys like Sammy Sosa who make $10 million and try to figure out how to earn it. and they just love to play the game, and that's Sammy Sosa. He just loves to play.
Norman strikes out Morandini. Now Dusty Baker's going to come out with Sammy Sosa due up. Fans already rising to their feet to welcome Sosa. It's Jose Mesa, the new pitcher for the Giants. His numbers overall with Cleveland and now with San Francisco. And also a new third baseman has come on for the Giants. Bill Miller. He'll hit in the 9th spot and be due up second in the 9th inning for San Francisco. And of course Mesa has come on to face Sammy Sosa. 66 home runs. Sosa with 158 runs batted in. One more than Juan Gonzalez of the Texas Rangers. So it's been just an incredible year. One of the greatest run-producing years in the history of Major League Baseball, and most likely an MVP season with Sammy Sosa. And maybe his final at bat in the regular season right now at Wrigley Field. We thought it was last week on Sammy Sosa Day.
Right.
He went hitless in that one, but he got another shot. In fact, went hitless that whole last weekend here. But he is 1 for 3 tonight. And his one hit was a big one, accelerating the rally in the 6th inning. Extended it from 2-0 to 4-0. So many people have brought their cameras with the automatic flash, and then the flashes go off all over the ballpark. We saw that in St. Louis with McGuire. We've seen it almost everywhere where McGuire and Sosa have been going. Mesa misses, ball 1. Mesa with the Giants with a 3.3 earned run average. He has only given up a couple of runs since early August. Get into the stand in a hurry. One ball, one strike to Sammy Sosa. He's kept that average over 300 all year long. That's certainly a difference for Sammy Sosa.
John, earlier, in the year, he's always talked about, all I care about is the Cubs winning. And to be honest with you, I was a little skeptical about that. Not that he didn't care about the Cubs winning, but I also felt that, you get one chance in a million to, break Roger Maris's record, and that should be, on your mind as well. But I tell you what, I've seen in the last couple of weeks a lot of instances where he put the team in front of his individual goals, because I've seen him where he's had counts where he could go for it, the home runs, and he wouldn't. He would take a single to right field to drive in a run or do whatever the team needed rather than going for the big fly.
2-2.
So when Sammy Sosa tells you that he is really concerned about the Cubs winning, you can believe him.
This has been a coming out party for Sosa. The whole country has discovered him this year. 3-2. And what they've discovered is a guy that you have to love.
Right. And, that's the great thing. He and Mark McGuire both are players that you can just pull for because they're good guys and they love people.
3-2 to Sosa. That was the swing for number 67, and that was a pitch he might have done it on.
Well, Sosa gets a fastball, and you're right. That could have been number 67.
They're waiting for it. Out across the street. Down the right field line. Carter, base hit.
See, Sammy Sosa 2-3 years ago would never have hit that pitch. That would have been a strikeout pitch. But Sammy Mesa made a good pitch away, and he just flips it down the right field line.
Sosa 2 for 4, and the MVP chant.
Well, let's take a look at this pitch. Fastball away, and look at that. He just kind of stays flat-footed. Look at that, and just used his hands, hit the ball the other way. That pitch was away from him. He didn't try to pull it. Just gets a base hit to right field. That's the difference between hitting 260 and 300, when you can hit those tough pitches and go the other way.
In the record book, only the one number will be listed, and McGuire was 70. Obviously has the record. Past Snow and past Sosa. Sosa steaming for third. Grace for second. A double.
Man, when you're playing in and you've got a left-handed hitter up there and he pulls the ball down on you like that, I mean, JT Snow actually had no chance. And Sosa had no chance.
Well, this is at full speed.
Yeah. And I'm not sure JT picked it up as quickly as he wanted, but that ball was a bullet. We'll see how close he is. I don't know why he was in so close unless he was expecting a bunt. And I can't understand that.
39th double of the year for Mark Grace. Now Kevin Tapani is going to stay up and bat for himself. The infield is in for the Giants. Mark Clark had warmed up, but has not been throwing since the Cubs came to bat. Tapani hitting 135 for the year. Giants thinking they might try the suicide squeeze, so Dusty Baker pitches out. Well, the Cubs 3 and 4 hitters, Joe. The Giants big guys have been shut down. For the Cubs, Sosa and Grace have had 4 hits in 7 at bats plus a walk. Oh. Kent will hold Sosa, and Tapani is out. 2 gone, and now Gary Gaetti. And a standing ovation for the 40-year-old veteran. And as Gaetti is saluted here, Joe, we look down to the Cubs bullpen. And yesterday's pitchers, who both pitched so valiantly for the Cubs at Wrigley at the Astrodome, are now warming up at Wrigley Field. And we're kind of surprised.
Well, I'm surprised if they let Tapani hit in that situation and then you start the bullpen, because if you let Tapani hit, that's telling you that he's definitely going to pitch for you in the 9th inning.
But Rod Beck and Terry Mulholland have both gotten up in the Cubs bullpen. Here is Gaetti, a chance to put that one final crushing blow on the Giants. It's 4-0 right now. Strike call.
Beautiful fastball, knee high over the outside corner. I tell you what, I've seen a lot of good pitches made tonight by pitchers in this ball game.
Gary Gaetti broke in all the way back in 1981 with the Minnesota Twins. Right there again. It's 0-2 to Gaetti. He was on both of those Twins World Championship clubs, 1987 and 1991. That's Beck, the right-handed, number 47. Mulholland, the left-handed, number 45.
Well, this is the count he had when he hit the home run. It was no balls and 2 strikes, and he hit a home run in the 5th inning. Well, they make sure that they waste this one.
Just a bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tyler Houston, a left-handed hitter, would be next. 4-0 Chicago. Last of the 8th. Sosa at third, Grace at second. Set up inside that time. Gaetti looked like he got a pitch to hit.
Well, maybe they don't think he can handle a fastball.
That one came back and hit the rooftop here at Wrigley Field, just above us. Sosa at third base. Grace at second. Ready to go in anything with 2 down. fights it off. So Mesa staying with the hard stuff, and still cheering him on from the stands, his wife, Donna. Gary Gaetti is from this part of the country. When the Cardinals told him they were going to cut him loose, the one team he really wanted to go to was the Cubs, to be close to home. And that was worked out. Much to Gaetti's pleasure, but been a great pickup for the Cubs. Looked like he tried to slide it that time, but that is also fought off by Gaetti. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cubs got 2 in the 5th on the Gaetti homer, 2 in the 6th on the Matt Mieske pinch hit single. Those have been the only runs of the game. For the Giants and Dusty Baker, frustration. They have left 10 men on base. Barry Bonds 0 for 4 without getting a ball out of the infield.
Yeah.
Wild pitch, and Sosa will score the 5th run.
Well, he tried to throw him what looked like a splitter, and it bounces in front of the plate. Brent Maine cannot stop it, and it bounces to the backstop, and Sosa comes in to score easily.
It is 5-0 Cubs. 2-2 to Gaetti. Now Grace at third. High in the air to left, but an easy play for Bonds. The Cubs need 3 outs more, and then they'll be heading to Atlanta if they can get them. Bonds is not due up till 5th in the inning.
Unexpectedly, she had to do open heart surgery. It was definitely a tense time. It was good to just come here and feel a little normal and to get a nice hot meal and like a nice warm bed.
Helps you bring strength to your family.
No matter what's ahead, I know that Ronald McDonald House will be there for us. They're like family, so they'll take care of us.
Doing the things we love can be painful. Aspercream's triple effect provides targeted relief, works in minutes, lasts for hours. Love hurts. Aspercream works.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. Knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Now Kevin Tapani trying to wrap this one up. And the Giants have Maine, Miller, and DeJavier due up. Dunston 4th, and Bonds not till 5th. They'll have to get 2 men on to get Bonds up there. That's a base hit for Brent Maine. First ball swinging, and he is 2 for 2 in this one. One game tiebreaker for the wild card berth in the National League Division Series. The Giants and the Cubs. And the Cubs are leading 5-0 as we go to the 9th inning. Sammy Sosa, a couple of hits and a couple of runs tonight, but no homers. The Giants down to their final 3 outs. SportsCenter follows the game with Kenny Mayne and Dan Patrick. Bill Miller in the dirt, saved by Houston. Mayne has to hold it first. On SportsCenter, by the way, they'll have interviews and post-game coverage from Wrigley Field, so stay tuned for that. The Giants in their 3rd tiebreaker playoff. They won both of them, the previous ones, 51 and 62, trailing in the 9th inning. But they were never this far behind. They were never this far away from home. And they were never without Willie Mays. He played in both of them. Willie Mays was on deck in 1951. He was a rookie when Bobby Thompson hit the famous 3-run homer against Ralph Branca. Bill Miller, 1 ball, 1 strike. Up the middle. That's a base hit. Over to third base goes Brent Mayne. Well, they have their 2 base runners. And now to the top of the batting order for Stan Javier. Mulholland and Beck warming up in the bullpen, the same 2 who threw yesterday. Mulholland went 8 innings yesterday. And Beck 2 2/3 out of the bullpen. And Riggleman is heading to the mound. There is Terry Mulholland. Yesterday he pitched 8 innings at Wrigley at the Astrodome. Now he's back at Wrigley Field tonight. He threw 121 pitches yesterday. Pitched his heart out.
He pitched great yesterday. He couldn't stop the couple of bloopers that really hurt them, but I mean, he has pitched in the past. I mean, most of the year he's pitched out of the bullpen, so he has pitched on consecutive days, but not after pitching 8 innings.
He inherits Brent Mayne, the runner at third, and Bill Miller, the runner at first. And the batter, Stan Javier, a switch hitter. Last year, the Giants had a huge 2-game series late in September at home against the Los Angeles Dodgers. They needed really to win both of them, and they did. The second one was started. It was Mulholland against the Dodgers. And he pitched a very strong game. And Rod Beck pitched 3 innings in relief that day and got the win. Base hit. The Giants have their first run of the game.
Well,
Riggleman's really taking a huge gamble here, Joe. I mean, he's going with guys who are tired. You got a whole bullpen full of guys who haven't pitched in 2 or 3 days. I mean, if this doesn't work, we'll be talking about Gene Mauch and other decisions that didn't go well.
Well, Stan Javier doesn't waste any time. First pitch fastball, and he rips it to left field for a base hit. And that gets the Giants' first run. And that run that the Cubs got in the bottom of the 8th inning was very, very important.
Here's Ellis Burks now.
Because Burks would be the tying run now.
If he can get aboard, Barry Bonds would be next, and he would be the tying run, despite that 5th run.
And they're fresh out of left-handers in the bullpen.
Rod Beck, who threw 36 pitches yesterday and 24 the day before, he is ready in the bullpen. Ellis Burks, the former Colorado Rocky, acquired by the Giants just at the trading deadline. Since they acquired Burks, their lineup took a much different look to it. They've averaged over 6 runs a game the last 2 months. Burks, though, has been hurting with a bad knee and has not played the last few days. But you can see why he's in there now. He said before the game he was 90%. And he can go to the outfield if needed. But at only 90%, Dusty did not want to start him.
Yes.
Big rip there.
Well, he's 6 for 13 lifetime with 1 home run against Mulholland, so he has faced him quite a bit.
Quickly, 2 strikes, no balls to Ellis Burks. Tried to curve him, and it just wasn't there for him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Barry Bonds, the man on deck, another left-handed hitter, has also had quite a great deal of success against Terry Mulholland.
Well, that's why I say they don't have anyone else down in the bullpen, another left-hander.
Check swing foul. That one winged the catcher, Tyler Houston. Sports Center right after the ball game. And again, they will have interviews and post-game reports from Wrigley Field on Sports Center. Stay tuned. The Cubs are leading 5-1, but they're getting nervous in Chicago again. 3 straight hits to start the inning for the Giants. Nobody out. Burks reaching for it, swinging at anything close here with 2 strikes.
Yeah, well, that was a good pitch as far as Mulholland is concerned, because there wasn't a lot Burks could do with it.
Bill Miller at second. Stan Javier at first. Barry Bonds on deck. Two and 2. Well, the last days of the season, very tense, but not much success for the Cubs. Problems out of the bullpen often. Burks fouls this one off to the right. 2 and 2. The count remains. And of course, the specter of this 7-0 lead that disappeared into a loss on Wednesday in Milwaukee, I'm sure is fresh in the minds, all too fresh in the minds of many of these Cubs fans. Certainly in Riggleman's mind, because he's doing stuff much differently than he did all year long. That is foul. He just did get a piece of it.
Well, Burks is doing a good job of spoiling him, and Mulholland continues to throw strikes.
This will be the 9th pitch from Mulholland to Ellis Burks. Burks making Mulholland wait. Mulholland, who's had 2 or 3 different tours of duty as a Giant. 2 and 2 the count. And it's gone full now. 3 and 2. It's at least a 10 pitch at bat now. Well, they always used to say when he was with the Giants that if they wanted him to, he could pitch every day. He had that kind of an arm. Well, Jim Riggleman is testing that theory. He walked it. The bases are loaded, and incredibly, Barry Bonds, who might not have even batted in this inning, not only will bat, but he is the possible tying run, even though it was a 5-run deficit that faced the Giants when the inning started.
And not only that, he's had a lot of success against Terry Mulholland. He's 14 for 46 with 6 home runs.
A pinch runner will go in at first. Ray Sanchez, a former Cub. So Barry Bonds against Mulholland. 6 home runs for Bonds in those 46 at-bats against Mulholland. A frightening percentage. Beauty on the outside. It is 0-1. Miller at third. Javier at second. And Sanchez at first. Bonds batting with the bases loaded for the 2nd straight time. 1 ball, 1 strike. And again, Bonds does not need the home run here.
No.
Jeff Kent is on deck. They have nobody out. Sosa tagging is Miller. He'll score. Going to third as the throw came all the way through to the plate. The third in the play is Javier, holding at first Sanchez.
Well, Barry hit the ball hard. He just didn't get it up or down.
Now the right-handed batting Kent coming up, and Riggleman is going out. He's going to make another change apparently.
Fastball right in the middle of the plate, and Bonds hits it hard. He just didn't get it up in the air.
So Mulholland gets through it, although he faced 3 and he retired only 1. And now Rod Beck, as you call him, Joe, a warrior.
And
the Giants have often called him that. Rod Beck, who was one of the great heroes of the '93 stretch run in their pennant race with Atlanta. I mean, it seemed like he pitched every day in September that year. And that's not far from the truth. And there's the man he's coming in to face. Jeff Kent. They were teammates last year. Until this season, Rod Beck had never pitched for anybody in the big leagues but the Giants. And he was unhappy to leave them. And now Beck, who had his first blown save this year as a Cub after a strong start when the Giants made their first visit to Wrigley Field, but nonetheless has had 50 saves for the year, only the 5th pitcher in history to reach that level. But now Beck is also being asked to do something that is beyond the ordinary. He pitched 2 2/3 innings yesterday, and every pitch he threw had the game and maybe even the season riding on it. 36 pitches. He pitched the 9th inning Saturday, 24 pitches. And here is Rod Beck again. And sometimes it's been said about Rod that it's not his pitches that he gets hitters out with so much. Sometimes it's more like the hitters get themselves out with Rod. He doesn't blow anybody away anymore.
Well, Jeff Kent has been swinging the bat very well, and we'll see what Rod Beck has left coming in for the 3rd straight day. And Joe Carter's on deck. Jeff Kent is the tying run, and as I said before, the wind has shifted. The wind is blowing out a little bit toward left field.
So Kent, as you see the flags, they have shifted indeed. It looked like a ball to left in the air will get a pretty good push. And Kent, who yesterday, after the Giants had blown their own 7-0 lead in Denver and fallen behind, Kent launched a home run in the 8th inning to tie that game. He has 31 homers and 127 runs batted in. Today, he is 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch once. 5-2 the score. Rod Beck in that familiar pose with the right arm rocking back and forth. 80 miles an hour. I don't know if that's supposed to be a splitter or what.
I think that was a fastball. From the way he released it, it looked like a fastball.
Well, that is well below even where Rod has been throwing. I mean, he's been up consistently 88, 89 the last couple of years. 2 on, 2 in, 1 out. Well, they better get that bullpen. They better maybe get somebody else up, Joe.
This is interesting. No one throwing in the Cubs bullpen.
There it is. It says it all right there.
Well, in yesterday's ball game, Mulholland started, and I felt like he was only going to use Mulholland and Beck yesterday, and that looks like what he's going to do here in the 9th inning.
2-0 to Kent, and those first 2 pitches did not have much on them.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Well, if that first fastball was 80 miles an hour, that one was 75. And you see Dusty Baker said, man, he had a pitch to hit. That was up, which is the kind of ball you're going to get in the air. Look at that. And, man, he just misses it. But that's Rod Beck. He will come after you, even though he knows he doesn't have his best stuff. He's a battler. He's a competitor.
The Cubs limping to the finish. The warrior Rod Beck with very little left, it is apparent.
That's all he needed.
There's one to first, off the bag. Coming in to score is Javier. At second base, the pinch runner Sanchez, the former Cub, came in real hard on Morandini.
Well, Beck needed to have one good pitch, and he makes the good pitch. He gets the ground ball. Sanchez has to back up because it's a tough hop. He feeds Morandini, but right there on top of him is Sanchez. Good job by Sanchez. He makes him throw the ball away.
So Jeff Kent gets an RBI there. His 128th. but it's not exactly the way he wanted to get it. Now 2 down, but Joe Carter, the former World Series hero, who had been so strong for the Giants in the stretch. And we got a fan who has run out from the bleachers onto the field, and that's why we have the delay now. The security here at the ballpark taking care of the intruder. We're talking about Joe Carter in a big spot. This was 1993, Game 6 of the World Series.
Now the 2-2. Well hit down the left field line. Way back and gone! Joe Carter with a 3-run homer. The win.
Well, that was Carter 5 years ago. Doesn't seem that long. And now Carter in what could be his final at bat. He will retire when this season is over. And he himself could well help determine whether or not it is at final at bat. 2 down in the 9th inning, and Rod Beck trying to pull off something that's almost superhuman, existing only on guile right now.
Yeah.
0-1. I mean, he's not thrown a pitch faster than 80 miles an hour yet. That was a slider. Three runs in for the Giants. It is 5-3 in the 9th inning. Well, now he had something out of Joe.
Well, that was a waste pitch, and it was up. He was just trying to move him off the plate, because I don't think he's going to try to get Joe Carter out with a fastball. I think he wants to get him out with a splitter or a slider.
Rod Beck needing one save more to put the Cubs in the playoffs as he faces the only other team he's ever pitched with in the big leagues to try and put them there.
John, that was interesting right there. That was a splitter, but he can't get up on top with the splitter. I mean, he threw that ball like 3/4, almost sidearm. He can't get on top to throw that, to get the good movement on the splitter.
JT Snow would be next. 2-1 to Carter. He is 0 for 3 in the game. Kent is at first.
I don't know why they're holding him on over there.
Grace right on the bag with him. And the Giants are down to their final strike.
Why would you be holding him on when his run doesn't mean anything?
One of several questions that we have about how this one is being executed. 2-2 with 2 down. Off the fence, and Grace will take it. The Cubs have won it, and they will go to the postseason.
That does it for this edition of Cubs Classics presented by Prevagen. Thanks for watching.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster, presented by Sloan. I am your host. I want to thank everybody for joining us last week when we had superstars of today's game, MVP Mike Trout, Cubs stud first baseman Anthony Rizzo joined the show. Always great catching up with those guys. Fun to watch Mike Trout change a diaper. Shocker, he was a natural at that, too. This week, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane. That's right, we're going to go with some of my former teammates and guys, superstars of yesterday. That's Hall of Famer Greg Maddux is going to be joining the show, and my teammate of 12 years with both the Marlins and the Cubs, the big first baseman, Derek Lee's on the show. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited to sit down and talk with both of those guys. So, once again, we are in this social distancing era. We are staying safe. We are staying 6 feet apart. We want baseball to be back. I get that. I understand that. And it makes me think of all the things I miss about baseball. And one thing I miss the most is the travel. Believe it or not, I was somebody who liked going from city to city. When I was in my hotel, I couldn't stay in my hotel room. The walls would close in on me, so I was a guy who ventured out. I loved to go down to the pier in San Francisco, enjoy some fresh crab, or in Seattle, go watch them chuck some fish around the pier marketplace. So it got me to thinking, what are some of my favorite places and some of my favorite memories of the road? Well, probably my favorite place to go to ever since I was a rookie was going to New York City. There's nothing better than the hubbub of Manhattan. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's all the big buildings and the tourists snapping pictures and looking up at where the ball would drop every New Year's Eve and Dick Clark would count us down as we celebrated New Year. Well, it made me think about something that I really like to do, that I suggest when we get back to an era where we're allowed to be in bigger groups and we're out there interacting with people. Is, you know, when you go to Times Square and they have all of the characters, the Transformers, the Pikachu, the Iron Man and Batman. You have Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Well, what I love to do is I love to get all of those guys together, and girls, and I get them all for one big group picture, and we go, cheese! And then right after we're done, what do they always do? They stick their hand out and they point in there and they say, give me $20. And I say, whoa. No, give me 50. Yeah. And they look at me all strange. 50? I'm not paying you. I go, hey, two-time All-Star, World Series champ, $100 and I'll sign it. And I'll tell you what, $150, I'll personalize it to whoever you want. You got that, Luigi, Mario? Now move along. Just a little something, for the rookies or the young guys to think about as they're strolling around New York City on an off day. Fun things you can do right there while you're in the big leagues. Hey, we're really excited for this week. We got a great show. Like I said, we got the Hall of Famer Greg Maddux.
We had analytics when we played. We just didn't have a name for it.
We got former World Series champion Derek Lee on the show.
It's like, see that trophy over there, son? I won the batting championship. I know a little bit about hitting.
We're excited to bring it to you this week on Off the Mound, presented by Sloan.
Take a ride and roll back to the 1990s. Marquee Sports Network will feature all games from the 90s. Saturday, Sammy Sosa belts his first career 3-home run game.
And he hits a high fly ball deep to left again, and it's gone! Look at Sammy! And is this crowd ever electrified?
Cubs Classics 90s Week, Saturday at 7 on Marquee Sports Network. Proudly presented by Prevagen.
Running a business here comes with ups and downs. The downs make you tougher. The ups keep you pushing. At Wintrust, we know what that's like because we started here too and have found a way forward. From us to you, keep going. We've got your back.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Let's raise a cup to the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online, to the ones who suit up and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Sport has the power to unite. It has the power to build communities. It has the power to break down barriers and allow people to feel as though they're on equal footing with one another. We at Cubs Charities have the ability to do some critical work right now, utilizing the power that sports has in building community, in inspiring hope, and uniting a city.
Get to know where to place your next bet on Follow the Money on Marquee Sports Network. Vegas veterans Mitch Ross and Paulie Howard host this hour-long show, share their knowledge of sports and gambling.
The Cubs always take money, so it doesn't matter. Everyone would come to town and bet the Cubs win the World Series, no matter who was on the team.
Get the most up-to-date information in live odds, predictions, and betting trends from the sports gambling capital of the world. Follow the Money, live weekday mornings at 6 on Marquee Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Dempster, host of Off the Mound. I've tried everything when it comes to washing my hands. Yeah, you know the traditional method of just turning on the faucet, putting a little soap on there, washing them clean, and then toweling them off. I've even tried my own method of a no-touch hand washing technology. And folks, it didn't really turn out like I thought it would. And that's why here at Off the Mound, we're proud to partner with Sloan. Their no-touch hand washing technology is as important now more than ever. So thanks for keeping our hands clean. All right, very excited to bring in our guest here on Off the Mound, winner of 355 games in the major leagues. He is a National Baseball Hall of Famer and former teammate of mine, Greg Maddux. Doggy, how are you today, man?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Nice. In Vegas, I'm guessing? Safe, sound?
Yeah, Vegas, we're doing good. We're safe. We're, lucky enough to play a little golf in the morning and then just quarantine the rest, till bedtime. A lot of Netflix. We got 3 dogs.
What are you going to on Netflix right now? What's your go-to?
Well, I tell you what, I'm rewatching Game of Thrones and having a good time watching that again. Yellowstone was pretty good.
Yeah.
We're watching Luther. As long as people are dying, we're in.
So this is kind of a weird time right now. No baseball going on. What would you be doing if you were a pitcher right now and you didn't have the ability to be practicing and being ready for the season? What would you be doing to stay in shape?
I think I would be doing what I do in January. A month before spring training, I would try to, play some long toss, and if I can get on a mound, once a week, I'd do that. I just treat it like January until the phone rings and say we're going to start back up again. And I remember the lockout year. Didn't we have like a 2-week spring training? I think it was. So, you're going to have to get ready pretty quick once the bell rings, and you probably want to continue to throw.
The game today, you see it, you watch it on TV, the way it's talked about with analytics and things like that. You were a guy that, you made every start all the time. But wins, you went 17 straight years of winning 15 games. Why do you think the wins are devalued as far as analytics go? And do you feel like they're just as important for the starting pitcher?
Well, we had analytics when we played. We just didn't have a name for it, we used our previous games. We watched video. We just didn't have everything written down and handed to you. So, I think the analytics are great. I think you still have to have some kind of command of the baseball to pitch to them. You can be the smartest guy in the world, but if you can't throw the ball where you're trying to throw it, kind of what good is it? And, I think the pitchers that I watch today, the ones that locate and change speeds the best are the ones still winning, just like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
all the guys you played with, I probably know the answer to this, but maybe you got somebody different. Who's the best golfer that you played baseball with out on the golf course?
Easily Smoltzy. I mean, Smoltzy's just got game. He's got a short game and he can hit it far. He was playing a 3-on-1 against us back in the day. It'd be like me, Glav, and Avery against Smoltzy. Pretty impressive what he's done with his golf game.
Yeah, and equally as impressive as what he's done with his hair. See, he took it all the way down.
Yeah, I see it. I get a laugh every time. All this extra time, I need to go up in the garage and find the old pictures I took. I used to take one of the top of his head at the end of the year on the back of the plane. I'd sneak behind him and get a picture of his bald spot growing, and I think I got about worth on there. So it'd be fun to find those, and I don't know, maybe put them on Twitter or something.
Oh man, the evolution of a career hairline.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You know, I was looking at your numbers and going through things, and you know, for all the young guys out there that, you know, are maybe feeling like that they're not quite where they want to be. I saw the year you had in Chicago, your first full year, your second year in the big leagues. You know, it was a struggle, and you know, a 5 ERA, you know, a bunch more losses than wins, and then all of a sudden you turned it around. What or who or what was the biggest difference that you made at that point in your career that kind of changed the trajectory of Greg Maddox's career?
Well, I think my first year I really struggled with my changeup. You know, I didn't have the ability to pitch slow very well. And after that year, I went to winter ball with the help of Dick Pohl. Worked hard on my changeup, and my changeup got better. And then, you know, I was able to throw something other than the fastball. And, you know, that was probably the biggest difference in those first 2 years.
Yeah, it's so simple, right? Just changing speeds, location and changing speeds.
Yeah. Easier said than done, but that's all you got to do.
Yeah, 100%. So we were talking before this, your daughter is doing work for the COVID-19, the coronavirus stuff with the, what hospital is it again down in San Diego?
Rady's Children's Hospital. It's mostly for kids with cancer. Not a lot with the virus, but there is some. But she's been doing that now for about 5 years, and you know, I know we donate a lot of money down there. It's a very good cause, and you know, as far as the COVID thing, there's stuff locally here in Las Vegas that, you know, you make sure you always add a little extra at the end of the bill on your credit card, and it goes to those to help. And you know, just fortunate that we're in a position to be able to help right now, and you know, we're doing things, and you know, we just hope we can hurry up and get through this thing.
All right. Well, here with us at Off the Mound, we want to do that too. We want to be able to give back. So we're going to donate $1,000 to both the Rady's Children's Hospital down there in San Diego, and also to, I know Dexter Fowler is doing some great things there in Las Vegas with helping to feed the hungry. I know you're a Las Vegas resident. I see you rocking the Las Vegas hat there, the Golden Knights hat.
Right.
So,
yep.
So we're gonna send a check out to both. I'll get an address from
All
you
right,
when we're all done.
Awesome. Thank
So
you.
help out. But yeah,
All right.
absolutely. And thank you for coming on today and you know, shooting the breeze with us and having a little fun and talking some baseball.
Yeah, good seeing you again, Demp.
Yeah, you too, doggy. Well, a big thanks to Greg for joining us right there. I'm really excited for our next guest, my former teammate, that big first baseman, Derek Lee, is going to be joining us as we come back on Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster, presented by Sloan.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. Knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy, mow with an attitude.
Hey guy. Hi there. Welcome to HIMS.
Should have done it years ago, and I feel like the young stud that I always imagined I was.
Outstanding product. Works above and beyond our expectations.
This has been a life changer, even in just a few weeks.
Featured in GQ, Playboy, and Men's Health. Find out what all the buzz is about.
Go to forhims.com/ed and get started with a free online visit while supplies last.
Quick,
Our home is the training ground for her dreams policy from American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you.
Domino's is hiring. Head to jobs.domino's.com
And apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
I need new struts for my 2010 Chevy. Let me see struts by AC Delco, KYB, and any under $50.
We might be able to get some struts from the warehouse.
Why watch the counterman tap on his computer and hope he chooses the right part? Go to rockauto.com. Auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. Choose the brands, prices, and features you want. Auto parts at the lowest price. Conveniently delivered to your home or business.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
All right, I'm really excited to bring on our next guest here on Off the Mound. He is a 15-year Major League veteran, 2005 batting champion, an 03 World Series champ with the Fighting Fish down there in Florida. My good friend Derek Lee. D, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Tim. Good to see you, man.
Good to
crazy
see you.
times. We're doing a Zoom interview, but good to see you, man.
Yeah, everything good. Christina and the kids are all well?
Everybody's great. That picture you sent the other day was amazing, by the way.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness. You know, you picture kids the last time you see them, then you see a photo and they're like a foot taller. It's amazing.
You know, times like this when we reflect on just life in general, but your career, you know, do you give yourself an opportunity every once in a while to just kind of, as the further you've got away from it, to look back and just be proud of, you know, all the things you did on the baseball field, winning a World Series, winning a batting title, being a model teammate day in and day out. I hope you do give yourself that opportunity because you had an incredible career.
You know what's cool about the kids is my son's at that age where he's really starting to enjoy baseball. And up until this last year, he liked playing, but he didn't really enjoy watching. But now he's getting to the point where he's falling in love with the game and he wants to watch, and he's pulling up my highlights. And it's been really fun kind of going back, watching highlights with him and, you know, explaining different, you know, showing him the World Series highlights. And he's like, Dad, you won a world championship. You know, so those moments have been really cool and kind of fun to relive with my son.
Yeah, like before that, same way with Brady. It was like, wait a sec, man. You know your dad actually played in the big leagues. Like, yeah. I can help you with a few things if you want the advice.
You know how it is. They don't want to listen to Dad. It's like, see that trophy over there, son? I won the batting championship. I know a little bit about hitting, but he wants to listen to everyone else. But that's just how it goes.
Dude, that year in 05, you had a monster year. Like, you know, you always had the power. You could hit doubles. But what do you think, you know, in 05, what led to breaking out and winning that batting title? Was there something you did that off season or that season, or did just balls just fall in like they never had before?
You know, coming to Chicago was a huge deal for me. I really got a chance to be around people who kind of understood what type of hitter I was. Dusty Baker as a manager, I had known him my whole life, and he was very instrumental, mainly mentally. And then being around guys like Sammy and Moses and Nomar and even Aramis, just kind of picking their brain, them giving me advice here and there. Just kind of mentally, I think more, I started to understand myself, started to understand what pitchers were trying to do to me. And 05 was just one of those years where it all clicked in.
Now I'm going to take you a little, see if you can go down a trip down memory lane. Do you remember your last game of the year, your last at bat, and who you faced that last at bat and what you did?
I do not. I know it was in Houston. I know it was in Houston. I feel like
I remember it was the seventh inning.
I feel like I knocked it out.
It was Chad Qualls. You flew out to right field, deep right field.
Flew out.
remember that. And then,
I trust me, I look back on those numbers and say, how did I not get one more hit? I think I had 99 extra base hits as well. I'm like, yeah, 100 and 200 just
you
sounds a little better.
absolutely pulled that year. I mean, you raked every year, but that year was incredible. And then on top of that, top of the ninth inning, and they had Brad Lidge in, and we ended up having the bases loaded, and Jose Macias was up. And I remember this because I knew you were on 199, and we were all.
So you remember this? You didn't look this up?
No, I remember this. When I was looking up stuff and I was going down memory lane, and I remember this because we wanted you to get 200. Everybody was pulling for you to get that hit, and he hit a line drive to the second baseman to end the game. We were like, "Oh no, man, you're on deck." I'm like, "This is."
You remember this, and you knew at the time I was sitting on 199.
Yeah.
See, that's
I had nothing else to do, man.
That's impressive.
Starting pitchers, we got nothing but time, man. I'm researching all kinds of stuff, checking out the stat sheet every day. 2003. I had a chance in 2013 to do that, so I can, kind of have that same feeling of winning a World Series. What was it like for you, even further back? The Bartman game. You guys are down, sitting here down in the series, and there's no way that this is going to happen, and all of a sudden that happens. And then you win the series, and then you go to New York and just, kind of take over the Yankees, because at that point it was just destiny to win.
Well, let's go back a year, Dem, when you and Cliffy in 02 got traded. And
oh yeah, I remember crying in the lobby.
For those of you who don't remember, Demp was our best pitcher, and Cliff was our best hitter. And they both got traded at the deadline, I believe. And we were, the team was just upset, frustrated, felt like we were going the opposite direction. So to be in the position we were in 03, and Demp, we had some rough years from 98 to 02. But, we brought in Pudge. We made a managerial change. I think it was May of that season, and things just started to click. We had some young pitching. We brought Dontrell Willis up and Miguel Cabrera. It was just one of those teams. We had a bunch of baseball players, guys just really knew how to play the game, got after it every day. And, we found ourselves in the playoffs, and you know how it goes. Once you get in the playoffs, the hottest team can win, not necessarily the best team, but we got hot. We had great pitching. We had contact guys at top with speed who knew how to get on base and, generate confusion out there on the base fast and make it easy for us 3, 4, 5 guys to just hit a ground ball and get an RBI. It was definitely the highlight of my career. I can't imagine doing it in Boston. Wish we could have done it in Chicago, but to have a World Series ring is the ultimate.
Well, you were the ultimate teammate, man. I got to play with you for 12 seasons, more than anybody I ever played with. I always looked up to you for the way you handled yourself out on the field, but more how you handled yourself off the field, man. You were a tremendous human being, and I'm glad you came on today and joined us here on Off the Mound, and thanks so much for the time, D.
Yeah, man. I wanted to say this about Ryan. You guys, he's doing Off the Mound, and he's one of the funniest human beings I've ever met, but ultimate guy at keeping the clubhouse loose. But what people don't know about Ryan is how intense he is, and how big of a competitor he is and how hard he works. This guy would go run what would you do, 5-6 mile runs? I
had to sweat out those pitches.
I mean, so you guys, like Ryan said, we were teammates for 12 years, by far one of the best teammates I had. The way he handled the situation with his family late in his career was, to this day is an inspiration. So happy to be on your show, man, and anytime, I got your back.
Awesome, man. Well, my best to Christina and the kids, and we hope we see you really soon, man, out at Wrigley Field where we all want to be.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, man.
You too, bro. So great to catch up with my boy D. He looks great, doesn't he? Hey, there's a little something I want to talk about. I'd hammer away on a trash can to give you a hint, but you're going to have to stay tuned to Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster, presented by Sloan.
Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual! We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need!
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's starting to happen every day. People are surprising themselves the moment they realize they can do more with less asthma. Thanks to Dupixent, the add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. Dupixent isn't for sudden breathing problems. It can improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks and help prevent severe asthma attacks. It's not a steroid, but can help reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Don't use if allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor right away about signs of inflamed blood vessels such as rash, shortness of breath, chest pain, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection and before stopping any asthma medicines, including oral steroids. Do more with less asthma. Talk to your doctor about Dupixent.
There's never been a better time to have a favorite food. With new Grubhub Plus, you get unlimited free delivery and cashback rewards for ordering noodles. And noodles. And noodles. And noodles. Grubhub Plus, free delivery, cashback, and noodles.
Welcome back to Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster, presented by Sloan. Their new no-touch hand-washing technology is state-of-the-art and truly in a league of its own. Big thank you to this week's guest, the Hall of Famer Greg Maddux joining the show, Derek Lee coming back, my former teammate of 12 years, always great to catch up with him. Now, this winter, we had a little bit of a controversy down in Houston. That's right, the sign-stealing scandal of 2017. Now, I'm not here to talk about that, but as a member of a front office, I wanted to make sure that none of that was going on under my nose. So what I did was I took a little look inside the office to make sure that wasn't happening. Take a look at this.
We got a problem. There's an epidemic right now, and I'm looking for answers. I'm putting an end to this. That's right. You hear me? You think you can get away with it? You got another thing coming. Hey, who took this? Was it you? What did I say about stealing the signs off the wall? I'm finding you. Hey, where do you think you're going with that? Where do you think you're going with that sign? You didn't get the memo? Yeah. Well, there might be a problem with sign stealing. Not here at Wrigley while I'm in charge. That's right. I'm on it.
And as you can see, I'm on it. That's not going to happen on my watch. That's right. Although I did get a parking ticket right there the following week. Anyways, hey, we want to thank everybody for joining us. Next week, we got two great guests. That's right, we got Texas Rangers Ring of Honor member Michael Young's going to be joining the show. We got my former teammate right there on the north side. That's right, you guys love him. Mr. Mark DeRosa is going to be joining the show. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster.
For Cubs fans,
The arrival of the home opener means so much more than just the return of baseball. It means you've survived another Chicago winter. Spring is finally here, and summer is on the horizon, with the promise of flowers blooming, and ivy too. A sense of renewal is in the air, and hope springs eternal among old friends who haven't seen each other since fall. Year after year, the home opener is the baseball holiday that brings the family back together. But as Cubs fans know by now, this year won't be like years past. Instead of a homecoming filled with joy and possibility, the start of the 2020 baseball season looks like this. A quiet Clark and Edison. A front office closed. A ballpark empty. A season in doubt. Instead of celebrating the return of baseball, Wrigley Field stands as a sign of the time.